Listen, I think we should smoke them.
Talk your talk. Talk your talk, Deke.
They don't have much good going for them.
You better talk
Obviously,
your talk.
they have the awkward situation of no Devontae Adams.
That's
they
a
made
fact,
the
though.
quarterback change from Minshew to Aiden O'Connell. I think that's a downgrade.
Fair.
But if you just look across the board, they're not good at passing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Minshew has all those turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
But now Minshew's not even going to be there. And I think O'Connell's a downgrade.
Yeah.
You can't run the ball. No more Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Zamir White is their main running back. I think they're 30th in the league in rushing yards.
Yeah.
It's not good. I don't even know if Zamir White's going to play. I think he was out last week.
Right. They
wasn't
was
he?
using Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good at all. This isn't Nebraska anymore for him. He's been terrible in the league.
Shout out to Deke. Talk.
They can't stop the pass or the run on defense, and they have no playmakers. I think they only have 2 turnovers
Yeah.
for the whole season,
Yep.
and that's 5 games in. So that's not good either. That's like almost last in the league as well.
That's a fact.
They got players. Let's give our respect to Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of him, though,
Because Christian Wilkins is on IR now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not even going to be out there. Outside of Max Crosby and I guess Spillane, we know he's going to do his job. We know he's a quality player.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I missing? I think there's someone I'm missing. Jacoby Myers is good, but
Trevor,
now he's their number one.
Yeah, Trevor.
You don't want
Moorrig.
him being your number one.
Moorrig, the safety out of TCU. This was his 3rd year there, I think it is now. 2nd and 3rd year. I mean,
He's all right.
right. He's like a Edmonds version. Like
Brock Bowers. There you go.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers. Already
I thought you
probably
was
one of the
talking
best
defense.
tight ends. No, I'm just talking
Yeah.
good players.
Well,
Jacoby Myers, I'd say, is good, but I don't want him as your number one. They don't have Devontae
Right.
Adams, so he has to be.
Yeah.
And then Brock Bowers, he's a studded tight end.
Yeah,
That's
Brock
really
is
it.
already on a historic pace to start the season off, man. They said not only is when you talk about him leading the Raiders in targets, receptions, and receiving yards, outside of Tony Gonzalez, that's the only other tight end since I think 2000 to have the numbers that he's had over his first start to a season right now, man. 5 games in. It's pretty crazy, bro.
Now, here's the caveat. If we play like we did these last 2 games,
None of it matters.
anything can happen.
Yep.
Yeah, anything's possible. And
Yep.
we do have our own issues with injuries on offense, offensive line, and running back, and then with edge rush. I just think we should win this. I think Raiders really aren't that good of a team right now, and us being at 3-2, we're at least average to above average. I think that's where we're ranking right now at this point in the season. So we should win. We should win. And this is a game we got to take advantage of because the schedule doesn't get any easier here on out. I think going up against the Jets next week, they have Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to be talking as freely about us winning this game and how it's, we should win it. And then with the Giants, they've been playing good. Danny Dimes has been playing better than expected. And then the second half, we know that's AFC North ball and Eagles-Chiefs.
Yep.
So this is a game we really got to take advantage of here. I don't think it gets easier on paper from here on out.
No, respect on that then, man. I agree with a lot that you said. In terms of strengths, I would agree. Max Crosby, definitely a dog, man. Big-time player. Love his effort. Love his production. He's definitely one of them dudes that you, for certain, better be worried about, man. Brock Bowers, absolute dog, man, early in his career. But, I mean, even just last week, they target him a lot, and I don't think they target him enough. He's open a ton. His combat catch ability, run out the catch ability, big fan of what he was doing at Georgia. I like the tight ends that can be athletic, run, and make them type of plays, man. He's for certain one of those guys. I also think that their place kicker is good, man. Carlson, man. We're not saying that he's Boz, but he is a dude that has range. He's a dude that's accurate, and he will be able to score if they get in position, just in the concept of we can't take them lightly. I do actually like their scheme offensively. It's just the quarterback situation is no consistency there. So even though they're going to operate out of 12 and 13 personnel, we operate out of there, I think, the most in the league out of 12 and 13 personnel. And then they're, I think, 4th for 12 personnel, and then like top 4 or top 3% for 13 personnel. They try to do a lot of similar stuff to us, and they're going to want to be a physical team. And I think that kind of matches the coach's demeanor. Antonio Pierce, we know he's a former NFL linebacker, Super Bowl champ. I feel like they do try to be tough on the football field. You watch him offensively, defensively. Guy like Spillane that you brought up, he's not a world beater. We rock with him heavy, man. We love what he was doing when he was here with us. He's a smart player. He's going to run around, and he is going to be physical. That is Spillane. We don't look at Spillane and say, oh, man, he's the best athlete. He's going to run around and cover it. Nah, but we like, yo, Spillane is going to hit you. He had a big hit in this past game, man. Dude jumped up on the sideline. Looked good, too. Shout out to Spillane, man. But that's going to be how they want to attack, man. But weaknesses are big time, man. QB play is the most glaring one. Obviously, whenever you're making switches or going back and forth with quarterbacks and then switching quarterbacks mid-game, yeah, you got a quarterback issue, man. Now, I think with Aiden O'Connell, I think that he does make better decisions with the ball, but I don't think he's as athletic. So when you're talking about some of the things that Gardner Minshew can do in terms of utilizing his legs, and he showed that in that Broncos game, Aiden O'Connell is not necessarily going to give you that, but I do think Aiden will put the ball in better positions for the Raiders and not as much in harm's way as my man Gardner Minshew. And yeah, Deke hit it on the head too with the turnover issue. They do not create enough turnovers. I think they're -7 on the season for the turnover ratio. That is atrocious. When you don't create enough turnovers and you're on the flip side turning it over, it's a recipe to get beat and get beat a lot and have some of these 30-plus scores showing up on your stat sheet. That's what's going on with them. And then last but certainly not least, you brought up the running game, and I do agree. The running game is weak. I think they have nice intent behind it, but the backs are not Josh Jacobs. So they are good backs. You got to respect them, but they're not the guys that could just take over a game. But I will say that they are good enough that you think about what happened last week with Rico Dowdle. I think that Alexander Matheson, I think that Zaire White, or not White, excuse me.
I think that's the overlying issue about this game, I guess you could say.
Amir Abdul, I'm like, those guys are capable of doing what Rico did.
If we play down to the competition, anything's possible. I think that's the overarching theme here.
Yeah.
These guys aren't that good, but hey, we play like we did last week. Yeah. Hey, it could be like someone in the chat said, a Tom Brady, Aiden O'Connell type of game.
Yeah, because I'm like, their offensive line, I don't look at them as world beaters, but I say, man, they play physical as heck. They're going to fire off and hit you in the mouth, and if you do not respect them, they going to block you. The same way Spillane be getting downhill, making a ton of tackles. It's like, we know what Spillane is, but if you don't respect Spillane, he can beat you. He can definitely take advantage of you in certain situations. That's this team, man. But the thing I was going to say is they don't have a number one wide receiver. We know who the number one wide receiver is. We trying to acquire said guy, bring him over here. That
maybe Omar Khan could get a face-to-face while we're out there.
Because I was like, that limits what they want to do. They're operating out of 12 and 13 personnel under the mindset that my number one is Devontae Adams. That's different when it's Jacoby Myers. I like Jacoby. Jacoby plays well. Jacoby could play for us too. Don't get it twisted. But to me, if he's your number one option at wide receiver, I think you're going to be limited. And that's kind of, from my perspective, what's going on with them, man. But a couple of matchups before we get these picks in. Brock Bowers, obviously we know that's the guy you got to watch out for. So our LBs, man, PQ, E-Rob, we just talked to Peyton Wilson, and I think a little bit of Minka as well. Got to have that dude, man, because it doesn't matter covered or not. He is going to get that football.
He might be one of the best tight ends in the league already.
Thank you. I ain't want to say it all the way, but I'm like, bro.
He is. Yeah, he's up there. He's probably top 5.
And I thought I could get the tell of he's not going to ever be in line to block, but he will. He's not the best blocker, but you can see he will still block. And I think that that's also an added element to his game. But the same breath, man, Aiden O'Connell is going to be the quarterback this week. So, Minka, can I get some Minka stuff pretty, please? This is the week. This got to be the week, all right? We know they got the dude, Mad Max Crosby. It's a Broderick Jones week, man. The same way we used to talk about Dan Moore having to go up against Myles Garrett, and we'd be like, Dan, fight. Dan, make it where he has to scratch call. If Dan, he can't take over this game, and quarterback, make sure you operate accordingly. This the same energy I got for this Broderick Max Crosby matchup. As much as I would love to get up here and talk big boy, yo, we the Steelers, this is Mad Max Crosby, and even last week he was putting dudes in an absolute mixer. We know how he plays, man. We know the production. We know the effort, and those are the reasons why more so it makes me a little uneasy. Because
just get Darnell over there.
Yeah, because it's the effort thing. That's his whole thing. Like, he is going to out.
You don't think Broderick is going to match that?
I haven't seen a lot of NFL guys
Someone
match
needs
Crosby's
to tell
energy,
Broderick
man.
this is a championship game for Georgia.
I was going to say, it's a
Treat
lot
it
of
as a
dudes,
championship game.
It's a lot of dudes that don't match Max Crosby's
Not
energy.
a preseason game.
That we don't even have to, like, talk about. So that's the part for me where I'm just like, we got to make sure that that's accounted for. Darnell Washington, Pat, Connor, move the pocket. Justin Fields, make sure you're aware of that situation right there. He hardly ever lines up on the other side versus the left tackle. If he does, I think it's actually a benefit for us. If we get him looping around, I like that as well. But he is going to want to stay on that side and go against Broderick for 4 quarters. If everything that I think he's seeing is what we see, and I think that's the one he's going to want. But after that.
Well, especially with us having Mason McCormick at the right guard spot, too.
Yeah. It just... everything's appealing. You got Say Malo over on the other side, Dan Moore on the other side. That's why I'm like, I think he's going to get that for 4 quarters, and Max don't stop. So that's the part where you got to know it's not just a skill thing you match with Max Crosby. It's a tempo and conditioning and the mental warfare. Like, that's Max. So I'm excited to see how he responds to it, though, man. After that, though, Najee. Spillane is Spillane, man. He makes a ton of tackles, but you got to win that, man. Don't let him Derrick Henry you. All right? Got to win that. I don't think he will. And I think this is one where we should be able to run the football.
You don't think Najee wins the matchup?
No, I don't think Spillane is going to Derrick Henry Najee is what I'm saying.
But
we need the running game this week. We can't keep coming into these stadiums and we like, yeah, man, what's up with this running game? What's up with this running game? And I'm also looking at Najee and saying it's not always going to be perfect. But at the same time, man, if you get the one-on-one with Spillane, man, we got to have that. We got to win these one-on-one opportunities, man. So I look at that, man.
I feel like we need Jaylen Warren and Patterson.
Well, what does the injury report say? Because we know
Jaylen
Patterson is out.
Good to go.
We know Patterson is out.
Yeah, he's out.
Right.
Warren said he's good to go.
Didn't he say that before, too?
I think he always says that.
That's what I thought.
I don't think he's playing. Tomlin said doubtful.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But even when he was
hurt before, he had said he was good to go.
And we're sabotaging Roman Wilson. Don't know why he's not out there either. That's getting really annoying.
Yeah. I get some of it, but at the same time, I don't get enough of it.
No, not at this point.
Yeah.
Whatever inexperience he has, I don't care. Risk it.
I don't think the inexperience is the risk on him. I think it's more so the risk on the quarterback. You say you mess up on a hot, bro. That's a free rusher about to hit your quarterback in the face, and you can't miss. Like, that's, I think, what they're more so. I'm not saying that I know it 100%, but typically with receivers, when they're not able to get out there, it's usually that type of stuff, man. If you don't know every check we going to, yeah, we could be in a bad situation in a hurry. And it's different because in training camp, you're not evolving it. It's more so this is the install. These are what we're at. This is what we do. In the season, 5 weeks in, man, we done grown so much since week 1. The different checks, the different things that we're processing and seeing. So that's the part where for younger players, it is a little bit more of a challenge. But like I said, the longer this thing goes, like, hey, man, I don't care about none of that, bro. Get him out there, man, because we need a guy. Get him out there. But like I said, man, those are the main matchups, man, that are kind of like standing out to me, man. 2 little bonus ones, though. TJ Watt gets the rookie DJ Glaze. I need this one. DJ Glaze gave it up a little bit last week. I know they're going to try to help DJ out, and especially knowing that we don't have a high-end outside linebacker opposite him. We know, like I said, no Herbig, no Highsmith, even no Leal.
I saw Highsmith practice today.
That's fun that he was practicing.
I don't think he's playing,
but he's
either.
not playing.
I'm just trying to give some positive news.
Yeah, I like that, but I'm just saying, like, they're going to send a lot more attention to TJ Watt's way to protect DJ Glaze. But when TJ gets that one-on-one, this the matchup we got to book. We got to make sure that we dominate this every one-on-one that we get. And then for our inside linebackers, I know we've already talked about them versus Brock Bowers, but do not let one of these running backs become the new Rico Dow, the new whoever we going to make look like an all-world running back.
Barry Sanders.
Come on, bro. We do this. It's always the
Bo
most
Jackson.
regular.
We'll stick with the Raiders. Bo Jackson.
Yeah, bro. It'd be the most regular running backs. And then somehow, some way, we're like, yo, why is this dude killing us like this, man? So hopefully we'll avoid that.
What's your score? Listen, Fields goes for the 300.
Okay.
All-purpose yards.
That's respect.
Yeah, what, 240 and 60 on the ground, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. He gets the 3 touchdowns. He also keeps it clean.
Okay.
And we put up 27.
Ooh.
They get 13.
Yo, it's funny that you said that too, bro.
And
I like your energy.
And if I was the coach,
Uh-oh.
Fields is going up against Rodgers on Sunday Night Football in Week 7.
Okay.
After
okay.
this type of performance that I'm calling.
All right. Hey, if it's
I think TG's right. Tomlin is set on Russ whenever he feels like Russ is fully healthy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's going to be anything that Fields can do in this game. But if it's me and Fields has that type of game, we're rolling with Fields.
All right.
We keep it rolling.
There you go then. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
4-2. Yeah, we're sticking with Fields, and he's played good. Like, obviously, if he does what I say, that's a good game.
You predicted him balling, not having a good. You predicted him balling out. Ball out.
However you want to take it. I mean, that's in addition to what he's already done, and we're sitting at 4-2. I think that's enough to keep rolling with him.
All right then.
And I'm not saying completely close the door on Russ or anything. I just bought himself another week.
No respect on that, man.
Put Fields as one on the depth chart, and let's keep rolling.
Okay. He said make it officially official. All right.
And then if Russ ain't happy with that, then you have conversations. You call up the Dolphins. You call up teams you need to call up. But if Fields does that,
16 is all you need then,
and we're
man.
sitting at 4-2.
Okay.
He's earned himself another week.
Mm-hmm. But you ain't just said another week. You said we was going to ship Russ up out of there if he felt some type of way. You was like ready to marry
That's on him.
Yeah.
That's on Russ. How does Russ handle it? If Russ is like, you know what? All right, my time will come. Or I don't know. I don't know how he handles it.
Yeah. I like it,
But you
man.
got to do what's best for your team. And I think coming off a game like that for Fields, that's best for your team. Give him another week. 4-2.
All right. I think we take care of business, man, but I do think it's a little bit closer. I had the 13 points for them being scored as well, but I got it 20-13. Like you said, man, road games can get weird. Vegas is weird. And I just don't know which version shows up right now, man, because not in the sense of being flat, but more so in the sense of are they going to warm up to it again? I felt like the first 3 games, I don't know, I just felt like we were starting faster and not playing on our heels and having to play like this comeback or always trying to match what they have already done type of vibe. So that's the only concern that I have, but I do feel like over the course of 4 quarters, man, we have the better players. But more importantly, I think that we're just a better coached team. I think the big difference for us is we create turnovers. When you create turnovers, it makes it extremely tough for teams to operate with confidence. And think about how we were able to create turnovers versus a Dak Prescott and a higher end Cowboys offense, right? To me, I don't look at the Raiders and say, man, I think that they have better decision makers, or I think they have better players, and we're going to have issues trying to replicate said pressure or replicate catching interceptions. I don't think that that's necessarily the case here. So with that, man, I do feel, like I said, we'll take care of business, man, with it. So 20-13, baby.